Sex is such a funny thing. We spend our entire lives thinking about the day we're going to lose our virginity. If we're going to like it, if it's going to hurt, is the person that we're with going to enjoy it too? Are we also going to have sex with someone who's never had sex before? Are we going to be with someone who's more experienced? The idea of losing your virginity is something that you never really consider just how life-altering it can be. I mean, I sure as the hell didn't. Hell, my biggest concern when I was in high school was just making sure that I stayed away from fat foods and didn't gain all my fat weight back. But my junior year of high school, I decided that I was going to do the plunge. I was going to lose my virginity. It just didn't end up being with the person I thought it was. You guys asked for it all last season, so here it is. The one with my first time. My junior year of high school started out pretty great. I came back from summer vacation. I'd lost a shit ton of weight. I dyed my hair. I learned how to do my eye makeup. So I low-key came into school like I was a bad bitch. And I was looking forward to a new year. I was looking forward to spending more time with my friends. I was finally, going to go after all these roles that I wanted in theater. Like, I was really looking forward to it. But I also knew that I also had a check mark to check off of my bucket list for the end of the year, which was I wanted to lose my virginity. I've been dealing with this guy for like a year prior to my junior year, and I thought, he seems like a decent enough guy. He looks like he washes regularly. I'll have sex with him. So I had full intentions on seducing this guy until I actually got down to the nitty-gritty. So this guy, let me just paint the picture for you, for those of you that don't actually know who I'm talking about. Think Joe Jonas meet Machine Gun Kelly. But I mean Joe Jonas in Camp Rock and Machine Gun Kelly now. If that makes any sense. But that's kind of his look, his tone, his way of working and stuff. And so I was just so hell-bent on getting him naked and having him have sex with me that I didn't even care if I even liked him as a person. Like, we were friends. We were in the same major, different grades, but we were in the same major. Like, he was cool. We got along. Things were great. So one night we're hanging out in my basement. We're making out, whatever. It didn't feel right. Like, you know how when you're making out with someone or you're kissing someone or you're feeling up on someone and it just feels good and you just want to keep going and you don't want the feeling to stop? Never felt like that with him. Then we got down to the nitty gritty and I couldn't do it. I apologized because he was very much ready and I couldn't do it. I couldn't even do it enough so that he could enjoy himself. Like, I just could not do it. It did not feel right. Like, nothing was happening for me. Like, it was not doing a thing for me. And I thought after, he went home that was the end of it. We were just going to be cool, be homies. Everything would go back to normal. It didn't. So the next day in school, sitting in class, minding my own business, and I feel like people are you ever have that feeling when people are talking about you or like people are looking at you? So I'm minding my own business, doing my work, whatever, taking notes, silently planning what I was going to do when I got out of school, like just, planning my day. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I heard people whispering. I didn't pay it any mind. So class gets over, time to get ready to go to lunch. I get up to leave, and my teacher asked if I could stay back for a minute. Now, my teacher at the time was like this really, really nice, down to earth. A lot of people were scared of her, but I thought she was dope. Like, I thought she was funny as shit. And like, she was like really cool, really down to earth. And so she asked if I could stay back for a minute. I thought I did something wrong. And she said, no, I just wanted to like make sure you were okay. I said, what do you mean, am I okay? It's like, are my grades not okay? She said, no, I just want to make sure you're okay. She was like, I heard some people talking through the grapevine, how everything in this school always gets back to everybody. Well, she said that I heard that, things didn't go very well with you and your boyfriend last night, and he was talking about it. and saying some not so nice things about you. So I just wanted to make sure that you were okay. Mind you, this is news to me. Like, I thought me and dude was okay. I thought we just decided, we just weren't going to go on that level no more, that we were just going to go back to being cool. I didn't know that he was telling people that I was low-key a tease and that, like, I was, like, messing with him. Like, I didn't know that. And I said, no, I didn't know that. But I said, I'm fine. Like, I can handle it. Low-key, silently starting to cry. Like, in the back of my mind, like, my eyes were starting to well up. Like, I was low-key going to start crying. And she said, well, look, here's my personal number and my email. She said, if you ever want to, like, talk or whatever, she was like, I've been there. If you just want to talk, reach out. Here's my number. Gave me her phone number and her email. I just thought it was sweet. Like, I always had great relationships with my teachers throughout middle school, throughout high school. Never had any problems with anybody. I was actually so cool with some of my middle school teachers that, like, they actually were, like, invited to, like, my parents', like, wedding anniversaries and shit like that. Like, I was cool with adults. I was always cool with older people. So to me, getting a teacher's personal number and email was nothing. It was just her being concerned. So I let it go. Put it in my bag. Went to lunch, whatever. Didn't really mention it to anybody. Then I'm sitting at home later on that week, and I get a message on Facebook from this girl. It's like a lower classman, didn't really know her. And she asked if she could ask me a favor. And I said, well, what? She was like, well, I just wanted to know, like, am I allowed to have sex with your boyfriend? Because, like, he says you won't put out. My brain, like, could not fathom what the fuck I just read. I said, what? She said, yeah, he says you won't put out, and, like, I like sex, and, like, if you don't want to have sex with him, like, I will. I said, you know what? You can do even better. You can have him. Went through, told him was done, removed his number, never planned on speaking to him ever the fuck again. But mind you, it's like a Friday at like 9:30. I didn't have any plans that weekend at all. So I was like, I had nothing to do. It was Friday, like 9:30. I was usually just going to curl up with my grandma and watch a fucking movie and, like, do a couple little shooters and, like, call it a night. But then I decided, you know what? No, I could use some older sage advice. So I decided that if it wasn't too weird, I was going to pull out my teacher's phone number and shoot her just a quick text message and see if it was okay to talk. I didn't think she was going to answer. It's a Friday night. Like, you're grown. You're probably out at the bar, the restaurant. You're probably out with your friends. Like, the fuck you going to answer your phone for me for? She literally called me. So I go sit on my porch, and I'm sitting out on the porch, and I'm talking to her, and I'm just, like, confiding in her. Like, I was just, like, about what just happened. And she said, like, don't let it bother you. Don't let it get to you. It's being, like, really nice and supportive, just, like, really sweet. And she said, look, she was like, it took me kissing a lot of frogs to realize that I would rather not kiss frogs. And, I'd rather deal with mermaids. Mind you, went right over my head at first. And I said, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess there's other fish in the sea. I thought we were making, like, water animal metaphors. I didn't know what she was actually saying. Like, I didn't. And I know, y'all listening to this are like, she's a fucking idiot. Like, she was trying to say that, it's okay if you're gay. But, like, I really didn't think about it like that. I thought she was just making, like, a metaphor, trying to be nice. And so we literally talked on the phone for, like, a good hour. Just about life in general. She asked, like, how else everything was going. Like, everyone had known that, earlier that year, like, things had gotten, like, really bad for me at home and stuff. So, like, she was just asking, like, if I was doing okay. Like, am I adjusting? She noticed I wasn't hanging out with my usual friends anymore. Is that okay? So I was like, I thought she was just being a concerned teacher. So I let it go. We talked, whatever, hung up. Saturday night, minding my business, I was getting ready to go out. I was going to go meet my friends. We were going to go out to, like, the mall or something and grab dinner. And I get a text message from her. And she said, hey, I don't know if you, like, have plans. Obviously, like, you're a teenager. You're out doing teenage things. She was like, but if you're not doing anything, she was like, there's going to be this poetry slam and, like, this open mic at this coffee house, like, downtown. If you're not doing anything later on, I mean, it's a little late. I don't know what your curfew is, but, like, she sent me the flyer. I said, you know what? why the fuck not? I said me and my friends were just going to go to the fucking food court and fucking eat food and go to the movies. And then I was just going to go home. So I said, you know what? Afterwards, instead of going home, I'll go there. So I went. Didn't really internalize where I was. I was down 13th and Sampson in Philly, which those of you who know is the gayborhood. I didn't know that at the time because I also didn't know that I was gay. So I was just like, oh, okay. It was like this cute little quaint little coffee house, like a couple of blocks up. So like I went in and people were like doing slam poetry and singing and, you know, vibing out. It was really chill. It wasn't like an over 21 crowd or anything. It was just like really chill and like really nice. It was like coffee, latte, stuff like that. It was like a late night thing. So I see her and she waves me over and she was like, oh, I'm so glad you came. She was like, I know like you used to write and stuff, and I know I haven't really seen you, you know, go out and like write, do anything. I haven't really seen you doodling. That's what she called it, doodling, in like a while. So I thought, you know, maybe this might help inspire you, you know, get you out of the funk, have you not, you know, deal with the whole boy drama mess. I was like, this is like really, mind you, I'm 17. My brain isn't grasping what the fuck is happening. Like, I'm just thinking, you know, she's a really nice teacher. She's just trying to, you know, like make sure that I'm okay. She's being concerned. Like, she might see potential in me to like be good at things. Like, maybe she wants me to, you know, better myself. Like, I didn't know what was happening. So, like, we listened to a couple different things. Like, she hands me, like, a notebook. Because, like, they were giving me, like, free notebooks and pens and stuff. And, like, she was like, oh, like, if you want to, like, write something, maybe, you know, if you wanted to come back another time, you know, you could read. Like, do, like, a reading or something. So, I'm thinking, you know what? I'll do it. Why not? So, next person who got up and performed was actually her. So, someone did, like, a poetry, like, reading. And she did, like, she danced or whatever. And did, like, a whole, you know, like, thing. And it was, like, really cool. And then I started noticing little things. Like, I was a person who I swore I was bisexual. Like I said, I noticed when a girl was pretty. But I was always like, I always looked at women in the face. Like, I was never the type of bi girl or like gay girl at the time that looked at any other part of a woman other than her face. Like, I noticed when women were pretty. Like, if a girl had nice eyes, nice teeth, whatever. Like, I noticed that. But when she was up there dancing and stuff, I started noticing other things. I was like, she actually is built kind of nice. Like, she's nice, like, thick, like, little, okay. That's when it hit me. Like, okay, like, she pretty. Like, she's really, I never really noticed her like that before. Like, she's really pretty. And, like, she's not old. Like, she wasn't, we're not talking, like, little Miss Muffet old teacher type of teacher. She was, like, a younger, prettier, like, younger teacher. Like I said, other people that I've asked since I told people this will swear to God that she was not attractive, but I swore she was so pretty, and like she was like full figure, she was like really pretty. And I decided, you know what? Something started to come together. Like, I noticed a lot of her friends or whatever at this gathering were like studs. But, you know, I didn't really use the term stud back then. I think I used butch or like masculine, but like they were like, you know, gay women that like dressed more masculine. Like, she was like high-fiving people and whatever. And she brought over these 2 frappuccinos or whatever. And we sat down and we just talked. And I asked her just out of the blue because, you know, I have no fucking filter. I asked her if she was gay. And she looked at me and smiled and she said, I'm not what you would call a lesbian, but she said, I'm also not straight. She said, I like what I like. I don't define myself. So I said, cool. Thought nothing else of it. Not a thing. So she asked if I needed a ride home because she said, oh, it's like going on like 1 o'clock. Like, I know it's a Saturday night. It's in the city. Would you mind if I like gave you a ride home? She was like, she wasn't dangerous to me. I wasn't intimidated. I wasn't scared. So we get in her car and we drive. It's like maybe like a 20-minute drive. And we pull up to my house and she says like it was really nice to like hang out with you like outside of school. and stuff. And I said, no, it was like really nice. Like I thought it was going to be awkward, but I was like, no, like, it was like really nice. So like my initial thing whenever I say goodbye to anyone, I don't know why it's in like my nature. Like if it's like a friend or something, my initial reaction when I get out of somebody's car is to like hug them like from the side. So I did that. And as I did that, I think she was also trying to like lean over and like something. And we accidentally like kissed, but like not in like a weird way. Like it was like an accidental thing. Like her mouth grazed my mouth. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I said, I did not mean to do that. I was freaking out. She was like, it's okay. She was like, it's okay. I'm okay. You're okay. Get some sleep. She's like, I'll see you in school on Monday. I literally walked in my front door. When I tell you, I didn't know until then that you could actually get aroused by someone without actually doing anything with them sexually. Like literally just that like little bit of a nothing did more for me in my nether regions than kissing that boy ever did for me. And I said, oh shit, I'm in trouble. So fast forward a couple of weeks, you know, things went on like normal, hung out with my friends, auditioned for shows, stuff like that. Things were great. It's going on spring break. I want to say it was spring break. Yeah, because it wasn't cold anymore. It was like spring break. And before we left for like that little week and a half or whatever that we had off, I was on my way out the door, like on my way out like the front door. I was going to go meet my friends. We were going to go grab pizza and stuff because we didn't have school the next day. So she was like, oh, hey, she like kind of ushered me over and she was like, hey, I don't know if you have plans like for like spring break. I know like you're a teenager. You and your family are probably doing something. I said, no. I said, we're broke. I said, we're not doing shit. So she said, oh, well, like maybe, you know, maybe we could like hang out, like do something. Mind you, I didn't think there was any, I didn't feel like it was right, but I didn't think it was wrong that we were talking and like seeing each other outside of school. I didn't think it was a bad thing. So I agreed. And she said, okay, great. She was like, so listen, I'll pick you up tomorrow night. She was like, we'll go have dinner, hang out, maybe go see a movie, just like hang out. Now, mind you, I'm 17. This woman's in her 30s. I didn't think it was wrong. Like I said, I wasn't sitting there thinking like, oh my God, like I'm being taken advantage of. Like, oh my God, this is grooming. Like, oh my God, this is wrong. Like, I feel like I need to call Olivia Benson. Like, no, I didn't feel wrong. But at the same part, I kept asking myself, why am I not telling anyone? Like, why am I not telling my friends? Like, I had 4 really good friends at the time. Like, we literally told each other everything. Like, I was not telling them a thing. Like, I didn't tell them about the poetry slam. I didn't tell them about the fact that we low-key kissed. I didn't tell her about the fact that she even gave me her phone number in the beginning. I didn't tell them anything. I didn't tell my sisters. I didn't tell anybody. But I didn't feel like it was right. So, I did the only thing I could do. I needed to tell someone. So I said the one person that never judged me no matter what bullshit I did was my aunt. So went home from school and I was like, hey, I told my mom I was going to give my aunt a call. I said I wanted to check in on her. I wanted to talk to her about something. She asked if everything was okay. Everything's fine. I said, I just kind of like need some advice from someone that like isn't you and like isn't grandma. So I get on the phone and I tell her, and she said she thought that it was wrong. She thought that it was disgusting. She said that if I even considered going to go meet this woman and spend time with her, that I would be doing something wrong and that I shouldn't be doing it. And because I do what the fuck I want anyway, I didn't listen. And the next night, she picked me up. I lied and told my mom that I was going out with like my 4 friends, that we were going to go to like the movies and hang out and stuff. And so that's what I did. So she pulls up. I don't know why I put so much effort into what I wore, but I always had breasts. And since I always had breasts, I always knew the right outfit to wear to kind of, show them off. So I had a cami on, some tights, some like mini booties, and like a little like denim jacket. I thought I looked cute. Earrings, makeup was done, everything. And she said I looked nice. And it was just that one simple compliment literally like gave me like butterflies. And it was weird because it's like, this is literally a grown ass woman. Like, she's only a couple of years younger than your mom. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? My brain was saying that, but the rest of me was like smiling. Everything was normal. So we went out to eat. Went to the movies. She paid for everything. I wasn't fucking complaining. And then we're leaving the movies, and like she reaches down, like grabs my hand, like just grabs it like regular. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Then we get to her car, and she like pushes me up against the door and like kisses me. And like, I knew I shouldn't have been doing it, but I'm like, it felt good. And like, it felt good everywhere. And I just gave into it. And then like, she pulled away, and she was like really like quiet. And she was like, is that okay? Like, is this okay? And I knew I should have said no. I should have said, no, this is weird. No, this is wrong. Like, you're my teacher. You're older than me. Like, this is wrong. Like, this has to be illegal somewhere, right? Like, this is wrong. But I said, it's fine. And I said, it's fine. And then I kissed her back. Like, she didn't even kiss me back. I literally like grabbed her and like kissed her back. And like, she was touching me and like filling me up. And it felt so, I felt more in that 3 minutes of like making out with her than I felt even remotely almost having sex with that guy in my basement, like only a couple of weeks earlier. Like, I felt more in that moment than I did with him. And she asked if we could go somewhere special, and I said sure. So she drives us out to Kelly Drive, and we parked and was just like out by the water, just sitting in her car. And she said, like, I really am attracted to you. She said, and I know that like it's wrong. I know it feels wrong. I know that we shouldn't be doing this, but I can't help myself. And I'm asking you here and now, is this okay? Because if you say no, I will take you home and nothing will change. You won't fail. Nothing will change. You won't get in trouble. Like, we'll end it right here, right now, and act like it never happened. But she's like, I can't lie and tell you that I don't want you. Like, I don't want. And I still distinctly remember this shit, and I will never forget it. She said, what the fuck did she say to me? She looked me dead in my face and said, I'll never forgive myself if I don't find out what you taste like. And my whole body got hot, like everything, like my toes to my fucking forehead. I felt like I had a fever. Mind you, I watched a lot of porn, a lot of gay porn, a lot of ebony porn. And so like, she was literally like a living, breathing porn fantasy, just like in front of me, literally begging me to let her do things to me. And I gave in. And we had sex several times in her car. And, she didn't make me do anything to her. She said, if you're not ready for that, I totally understand. But, she did a lot of stuff to me. And it was literally like, I was like, this is what I was supposed to feel when I was doing stuff with that guy. I was supposed to feel that way with him. Like, this is wrong. Like, fuck the fact that she's older. Fuck the fact that like, she's my teacher. But no, like, this is wrong. Like, I'm not supposed to feel this good with a woman. Girls are for fun. Yeah. But like, I'm supposed to be serious. I'm supposed to be with a guy. And I couldn't get past it. Like, I was freaking out. But at the same time, I'm like, but this feels good. Like, why does something that feels like this bad? It's like, I didn't feel this with him. So maybe if I feel this with her, maybe I'm supposed to feel this way with her. And we did it a lot. And as time went on, no one knew, no one ever found out. And it wasn't until I got with my wife that I actually told her the truth. And granted, she thought it was disgusting, but it was important, and it happened, and I don't regret it. Do I wish I was able to go down on her? Abso-fucking-lutely, now that I know what the fuck I'm doing. But at the time, no. I was grateful that I was with someone who was experienced and who genuinely cared. Did we tell anyone? No. She never told anyone. I never told anyone. The school never found out. It's why I didn't even say her name or what subject she taught or even what she looked like. Because I'm never going to do that to her. What we had, to me, was important because it helped open my eyes to who I was and to my sexual identity. It helped me learn to appreciate pleasure and sex, and knowing that sex was supposed to be something enjoyed, not something that you feel like is a chore, something you have to check off your to-do list at the end of the day. And it was great. Like, it was great. And God, if I could go back to that night in that car and do all the things that I know now as an adult to her, it would have been wrong. Like, it would have been wrong. Like, it was low-key illegal, and I understand this. It was low-key grooming and sexual assault, but it felt good, and I liked it, and I don't regret it, and I'm never going to say I regret it. I don't regret a lot of things that I've did. I don't regret that. Do I regret the fact that it was with a teacher and a staff member and I could have possibly have had her lose her entire life over that? Yes. Do I regret the fact that I used her to kind of figure my own sexuality out? Yes. But I don't regret having sex with her. I don't regret spending time with her. I don't regret getting to know her as a person, because even now, as a grown-up and stuff, even now being grown, I have a new respect for her as a person. I have respect for me as a person, because now I can sit there and say that I know for a fact how I learned and discovered about myself. And at the end of the day, while a lot of people are going to be like, this is low-key an SVU episode, no, I genuinely am so grateful that I had that experience with her, that it was with someone who was smart and beautiful and understanding, and who genuinely was compassionate about me and what I was going through. And do I regret not telling people? Absolutely not. The only reason why I even made this episode was because a lot of young gay people have asked me when was my first time with a woman, and why, and how did it help kind of shape me into my sexual identity, and like, what role did it play in my sexual discovery. And that's why I'm telling it. Not because I want anyone to be like, concerned, or to, call the cops or figure out or do detective work. Like, if you went to my high school and you want to do your little detective work and try to figure out what teacher it was, I'm not going to tell. But I will say this. Your first time is supposed to be special. It's supposed to be something that you want. You're supposed to have full control and consent in every part of your first time. And I did. I said yes. I chose it. I enjoyed it. And that woman taught me more in that car in an hour than I ever would have learned for that 2 minutes in the basement with that guy. So just remember that. You always have full control in what you do and who you do it with, and never be ashamed of the person that you choose to give that to. Because I sure as the hell don't.